Hey everyone, it's Vee Roberts here from London in the UK. I have returned now from New York City and I wanted to come on to speak to you today about some of the fundamentals that you might need to consider in your business in 2020, especially if you're new to business or you've been in business for, let's say, 3+ years and you haven't really seen any movement yet in terms of how you're growing, the people you're connecting with, the money you're making, and also the amount of time as well and budget that you've been able to invest back in your business. So good evening. Hi Chantal, how you doing? I hope you're well. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about some of the things that I feel are pretty important, shouldn't be ignored. And I want to cover these things because basically when you're in business, sometimes we can do things and we can get overwhelmed with doing tasks that are not necessarily fundamental to our success. And I can give you a few of those things, like going to meetings, giving out free consultations, speaking to lots of different people, connecting with people that perhaps aren't even our ideal customer. But one of the biggest ways that we kind of flop ourselves in business is that we don't actually map out what we're doing. So we don't have a vision for our bigger picture, where it is we're trying to go, why we're trying to even get there, and how we're going to get there. So what I want to share tonight with you are just some very quick pointers that I know will help you if you're in business and perhaps you're looking at wayfinding for yourself. Maybe you don't have a coach, maybe you don't have a consultant that you work with. I want to be able to share with you some tips that I know will massively help you this year. So, by the way, if you don't know who I am, Vee Roberts of Insight2Marketing. I'm actually going to be hosting a number of events across the UK, and also we'll be flying out to Antigua very soon on the 7th of March for our Inspire Your Biz event. But I wanted to make sure that I come on and just introduce myself to you. A few of you are on the page, don't necessarily know who I am. Welcome to my new connections and followers as well. And I wanted to talk to you today about some of the things that I feel are important. So first of all, let me just invite in 2 or 3 of the ladies that had actually requested that I cover this topic. But secondly, I want to say to you that if you're in business at the minute and you don't have a business plan, don't fret. All right, don't fret. The reason I don't want you to fret is because a lot of us get tied up into having to produce this document or wanting to create this document that's actually going to be our Bible, if you like, of tips and ideas and things we need to do by a certain time. Business planning is literally just you getting clarity on what you're doing, what you expect to get back from your investment, and also your goals and how you're going to review those goals and also impact on the bottom line in terms of bringing in some money. You want to make sure all your legalities are crossed off, make sure your business is registered, make sure that if you're in the UK, you've got things like GDPR covered, and also make sure that you've crossed your T's and dotted your I's, right? So those are some very quick pointers. But in terms of your vision, let me ask those of you that are watching now or that might watch on the replay, what is the vision you have for your business? Like, in terms of monetary goals, where is it you see your business being in the next 3 to 6 months? You know, because when we're talking about growth and evolving, what we're talking about is you moving from one position to another. And one of the things that I want to share with you is that even though I only spent £100 on my business when I started my business, I've actually evolved and grown quite a lot over the last 7+ years. And many of you have been with me on my journey. Many of you, even across the waters in the Caribbean and the US, have seen me also evolving with my events, with my clientele, with my service offering, with my product portfolio. And so it should be the same for you. I want the same for you. We have to be able to evolve and grow. And that sometimes means changing and tweaking habits, but also getting into routines that perhaps make us a little bit uncomfortable. So I want to share with you that even though I have a young family, I've got 2 children under 8 now, and I have 2 above 8, 2 very big ones. It's still a juggling act for me, right? A lot of the things that I'm doing based on what I'm trying to work on in terms of clear strategic goals, but also balancing out my family time as well, which can be challenging sometimes. And so for any of you that are watching this now, perhaps you're working a 9 to 5, perhaps you're running contracts for other people, or maybe you're just simply trying to get yourself off the ground. These are the fundamentals that I know will help you in your business. So first things first, don't worry about creating this all singing, all dancing business plan. Just get very clear on where you're trying to go with your business in the next few months, few years, but ideally you want to have a long-term vision so you're clear on what you're going to be doing or what you're aiming to do, and it's specific. So if you want to work with women that are traumatized, or women that lack confidence, or women that want to work on stage, or women that want to get paid to speak, be very specific and actually quantify that amount of women. Be very clear on the numbers of people you want to work with, how much money you want to earn, and, be flexible because it will change. Depending on what you're doing when you first start out, when you set your mission initially, it may change and evolve. So you've got to be open to that, all right? The second thing is, I need you to be crystal clear on the processes you're using in your business. Many of us are in business, and if you're with me now and you want to type along, you can. The first thing I said was getting clear on your bigger picture and your vision, right? That's number one. Second thing is understanding the processes you need, because a lot of us are in business and we're not actually that clear on simple things like payment systems, appointment bookings, even hiring staff, how to actually organize our diary, how to book people in, and knowing how to even run our online stores, if any of you have online stores. So having payment systems, processes, booking appointments, scheduling activities, even for things like your social media, will massively help you. And those are the kinds of things I would suggest you get your head around when you're starting out, so that you're very clear, right? So clarity on your vision. Yes, thank you. Second thing is processes, getting clear on your processes and what you're actually doing in your business so that you have a way of working efficiently in your business, right? So number two is processes. The third thing is, when you're in business, you need to have an idea of how much budget you've got. Now, I know from hindsight that actually I only had £100 to work with, because that was all I had left after I was made redundant and I'd spent my redundancy money, and then I was left to my last £100, and all I had for that £100 was basically a shiny website. So I did what I could on my website, but getting clear on my budget and my resources, which is point number 3, really, really is important. And I would really encourage any of you that aren't yet there yet to sit down and spend some time doing that. We're still at the beginning of the year, so you've got lots of time to work on this. Get clear on your money. How much money have you got? What could you afford? You know, if someone said to you they've got an ad for you for £500, could you afford to spend £500? Could you afford to spend £50? Could you afford to spend, £5,000 on an ad if it meant you were going to get a really good opportunity and lots of OTS opportunities to be seen, right? So think about your budget, because opportunities will come up, and also things that you might want to invest in may come up, like training courses or events. And if you've got a budget assigned to your marketing, and obviously with things like, your accounting, training courses, events, manuals, resources, those kind of things can be written off in terms of your budget, right? So if you've got a budget for those things and you're clear on, when you make money, how you're going to spend that money, then that will massively help you. So get clear on your budget and your resources. Okay, that's very, very important. And then the fourth point I want to make is that it's very important that you're clear on, hey, Babajide, how you doing? Very important that you get clear on what you're doing in terms of your time management. So when you're new to business, a lot of us can get wrapped up, as I was saying earlier, in actually doing lots of different activities that aren't necessarily best use of our time. So when you think about how long you spend online, or, how many conversations you have that don't lead to anywhere, or how many people that you speak to or meet for coffee that doesn't transpire to anything. And I'm not talking about sales and people spending money with you. I'm talking about fruitful relationships that are meaningful in the long term. Yeah. When you're looking at your time management, that's important, because as a new business or a startup, you really want to make sure that you are clear on your time in terms of how you're spending your time, the return you're getting on your time that you're spending with clients, in your Facebook groups, doing workshops, so that you are getting the best value from yourself. Because when you think about it, right, if you're not clear on your time, you could spend ages delivering events. You could spend a lot of time writing courses that no one's accessing, events that no one's going to. You could spend a lot of time going to coffee meetings that are not even, you being seen by people that are necessarily going to vibe with you or want to do work with you or refer you to anyone. So it's very, very important that you are clear, that as a business owner, you are really, really crystal clear on how you're going to spend your time, your money, your resources, that you're clear on your strategy in terms of your vision, where you're trying to go, that bigger picture, and also that you understand that you need to have some fundamental processes in your business in order for you to work efficiently as a business. Because if you don't have processes, someone asks to order some stock from you, or they want to buy your time, or they want to pay for something, they can't do that unless you have the things in place to do that swiftly. And actually, I would say that even if you do have a way, because I know people that start up and for years they're doing bank transfers. I mean, that's not necessarily a great way for you to be running your business, so you need to be thinking about that, okay? The fifth thing I want to speak to you about is the importance of reviewing what you're doing. So getting very clear and reviewing what you're doing in terms of your activities, so that you know that when you do something, you're actually getting return on investment. If you're spending time at an event, if you're speaking on a stage, if you're going out and you're delivering 1,000 leaflets, if you're telling people about your event and you're live streaming every day, you need to be seeing return on investment. So ROI is point number 5. Review your tactics, review your strategy from time to time, over 30 days, over 60 days, over a quarter, and get very clear on what you're doing in terms of time management, but whatever's not working, change it. I'm a massive fan of the term that if something's not changed, then nothing will change. And also, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to see change, that's not really realistic. So point number 5 is about you reviewing and making sure that you're actually looking at what you're doing in a timely manner. So don't leave it till the end of the year. Don't leave it till the end of the quarter before you actually decide to check up on how you're getting on and monitoring your success. Actually get crystal clear on why you're doing the things you're doing and make sure that they feed into that bigger picture, that vision that you've got for your business, because that is very, very, very important. Point number 6 is do your research. A lot of us jump up and think of ideas and strategies and plans without having really understood our market. So some of you will be in business for a short term or even long time. I work with business owners that, work in business 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, even more recently 12 years, without any real idea or understanding of their target audience. And the thing is, because these individuals, maybe you, are getting results trickling in, you don't feel it's a priority necessarily to actually spend time understanding your audience. So I'm going to say to you, if that's you and you're watching now, make sure that you review your audience and actually understand and research why they buy. What makes them connect with your brand? What is it that you do that other competitors may not be doing? What is it that makes you unique? And why is the market going to want your product or service? So you have to really understand different factors about your brand. And those are just a few things that will actually give you a better response in terms of attracting clients, generating leads, and getting paid and qualified customers with ease. It's very, very important, right? And you need to also understand, point number 7, that if you don't invest in yourself as a business owner, and this is time, so spending time doing courses, webinars, and by the way, if you're downloading lots of freebies and you're not actually implementing the things you're downloading, that's not so great. But actually spending time to invest time and money in your business is critical, because if you're in business and you don't want to spend on developing yourself, personal development, training, confidence classes, public speaking classes, marketing events, whatever you want to do, if you're reluctant to spend, then you really can't expect people to invest in you, because they will see. Consumers see. And whether you say it proudly or not, if you're not investing in your business, people can see that, So in terms of this evolving process and understanding the fundamentals, you need to have a willingness and a readiness to invest in your success. So that's point number 7. Understand, once you've researched your market, once you've looked at, your bigger goals, your vision, your audience, your time, your budget, your resources, make sure you understand how you're going to invest in yourself, because this is really, really important. And a lot of us slide over that one, thinking that we can actually not invest and still get really, really good return on investment. And I can tell you from starting my business on just £100, which is about 130 US, when I started my business, I was reluctant for at least 18 months to spend a penny. And I cut the most amount of corners, and it didn't get me anywhere. In fact, what it did was it actually had a detrimental effect on me in terms of the types of people that I was attracting to my business. As I started to tweak and evolve, and I applied some of the tips that I'd learned myself through my studies, working with the bigger companies that I'd worked for nearly 17 years before starting my own business, I was able to then modify my offer, show up differently, and present myself as the authentic brand that I really wanted to be. So understanding what you're doing, who you want to be, but more importantly, having that readiness to invest in your success and also invest in your time, your money, and making things work, that's going to make a huge difference to your business. And I can only say to you that even with the people that I work with, many of them come to me not wanting to necessarily take the risk of investing in anyone. And then when they do that, what they see is a complete change and shift in their business. I've had customers that have come to me that have completely turned their business around on the back of them investing in my coaching classes, in my workshops, in my events. And the wonderful thing about that is that they see that actually by taking that first step, they get a massive return on investment. Some of my clients that have spent, group coaching fees with me, in the space of 8 weeks of investing, have turned that money around and got back 4K on email campaigns, got back £600 orders, which is basically, a really good return in less than 8 weeks of being in business with me on a coaching program. And some of those people have been in business for years before actually deciding to invest. So if I want to say something today to you, point number 7 is invest in yourself and your business. If you're not confident in speaking, if you want to get more smarter with video, if you want to know how to apply your brand, if you want to know how to show up and attract the right types of clients, then make sure that you invest in that, because nothing will change until you actually make a really informed decision, first of all, about who you're going to invest in, but secondly, that you actually are ready to level up. And this is what it's about. It's about having that understanding of when you need to level up and also how you're going to level up. And my final point I want to make to you tonight is that you need to be clear on how committed you are. I recently posted an IGTV video about the importance of readiness and the importance of understanding that if you're not ready, if you're not focused, and if you're not committed to your success, you're not going to get the results you want. And a lot of us will say, oh yeah, I'm ready, I want to invest, I want to do coaching. And if you're not mentally ready for that opportunity, what you'll find is that the way you're applying yourself, the way that you're dedicated, even your discipline will be affected. And it's very much the same with you. If you're dieting, if you're trying to drink water, as I am at the moment, if you're trying to get disciplined and get yourself in order with anything, I'm just applying it to business. If you don't do this and actually show commitment, you'll find that your results will be a lot different from if you're actually focused and committed and giving it 110%. So there you have it, 8 quick tips from me that are fundamental in your business success. And I've got lots more, but point number 8 there, yes, Chantel said, how committed are you to your success? And this is so important. When you're moving through 2020, if you're not seeing change, if you're not experiencing growth, if you've just got a flat level of engagement, a flat level of customers, people are just trickling in, you haven't got a consistent way to generate leads, you haven't necessarily got a great amount of inquiries coming through, people aren't really tapping into you or asking you about your products and services, you should want more for your brand in 2020. So I've shared for you tonight 8 tips that I know will massively help you. If you found the tips helpful, please do share them with someone else or throw me some emojis so that I know that you found it useful. But remember, if you have a strategic goal and a plan, it will massively help you move forward leaps and bounds rather than you sitting there trying to work things out and hoping for the best, right? And if you're in any vicinity close to me, just check out my events. You can see where I'm showing up next. I am going to be in the sunny island of Antigua and Barbuda in March. So on the 7th of March, I will be in Antigua and Barbuda with my Inspire Your Biz event. But I'm also touring the UK with my marketing planner. So for any of you that are stuck on planning, or if you want to get help with how to actually market your business, how to build your brand, I have a planner which is A5 size, ring bound, full of campaign ideas, even workbook sections in it. Lots of really useful tips to help you grow your business in 2020. So I'll speak to you soon and let me know if you've got any questions. Bye.